Shabbat Shalom, everybody. This week's Torah portion is Korach, and in Korach we have this massive rebellion where a group of Israelites who are displeased with their inability to go to the land of Israel say, well, the reason why we can't go isn't our fault. It's not because of what we did. If we had different leadership, there would be a different result. And if Moses hadn't been in charge, then we would have been able to go to the land of Israel, and we need someone new in charge, and that person should be Korach. And it's interesting in this particular case, this assumption that who the leader is matters, and also who happens to be the leader when the people respond in a certain way matters. So there's an indication, both in the text itself and beyond, that even though Moses wasn't a part of the spies coming back with a negative report, as the leader, he's responsible for what it is that transpired and responsible for the negative report that was made. And I think there are two lessons that we're supposed to take away from this particular story. One is, as I said a moment ago, that in the end, a leader is responsible for whatever happens, whether or not that leader is the one who made that decision, whether or not a leader is the one who made that particular choice. That if they're the leader, they take responsibility for their community, they take responsibility for their people, whoever they may be. And just as Moses was the leader at the time, he has to take responsibility for the choice. But the other idea is that it's not fair to purely assign upon the leaders the responsibility for what transpires, that we also have a responsibility to play. We also are involved. That had the people not responded as they did to those 10 spies, who knows what would have happened. And oftentimes, as we watch the news, as we watch what's going on in the world, it's easy to blame our political leaders for what's going on. It's easy to blame them for the choices that they make, without realizing that when push comes to shove, in the end, it's not about the choices they make, but the choices that we make that are going to make the biggest difference. That the more local you get, the more personalized you get, the more likely you are to be able to make a difference, to be able to influence what goes on in the world. And so, yes, the leader could be Moses, the leader could be Korach, the leader could be anybody, but as long as the people were making the choices they were, the results would be the same. And so hopefully each and every one of us, as we reflect this week, as we think about what we wanted as our leaders to do and the responsibility we want for them to take, we're also able to reflect for ourselves upon our own responsibility, the choices that we need to make, what we need to do to change our world, to be safe, to make sure that everyone else is safe, to protect them in this challenging time. And not just to say this is the rule or this is what our political leaders can do, should do, have done, but to be able to say that I have a choice, I have agency in this matter, what I do makes a difference. And just as the Israelites learned along the way, it's only in that way that we'll be able to enter the promised land. It's only in that way that we're able to take responsibility for ourselves and our choices and to build the type of world in which we wish to live. Shabbat Shalom.